Probably missed all that. Good evening, everybody. Lovely. Oh, look at you all. Hello, Joy Cook, first time. Delighted to have you here. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you. Looking forward to hear what messages comes through. Well, me too. That makes both of us. Mandy, you're nice and early tonight. Kelly, hello, darling. And Ash, how you going, Ash? Good to see you both here. Yeah, me too. I'm always looking forward to see what comes through. Jenny Arnold, welcome along. And you know Kelly and Ash, so we've got a little bit of a thing going on there. That's wonderful. And Joy too. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jean. Yay, Jean, you made it. Yeah, cool, Jean. And Karen. Hello, Karen. Isn't it nice that we've got some unity going on among everyone here, which is really lovely. It's it's going to be a little bit interesting tonight, shall I say? I was speaking with a beautiful lady earlier on, before getting ready to come on tonight. And she put me on the spot and asked what I could see, because she missed out on a business meeting that I had actually done a presentation in previously. And I had already been in my right brain, is it? I don't know how many brains I've got. Some days I don't think I've got one at all, because I don't live in it. So I had to come out of this really deep thinking and learning space into the much higher center that I go to, and step out of myself. And I had really quite an interesting sensation that I haven't encountered before. I felt like I was actually splitting in two. So that was pretty funky. And then I had to go off, finish that meeting, and then get ready for everyone here. And I was asking, like you, what fun shall we have tonight? I feel there's a bit of mischief here. Yeah, Lisa's here. It's probably why. Bit of mischief around tonight. But there's also some serious kind of stuff. And the first part is we've got Archangel Raphael. Now, for Archangel Raphael to have come to me when I was getting ready means that we are looking at some of you, possibly all of you, it's not my choice, hands off, that need some of Archangel Raphael's healing light. So for those of you, that's just one, Lisa. For those of you who are new, my name is Gwenda. I am an all sorts, really, a bit like a licorice all sorts box. I am not a psychic, right? That's the first thing I want to say to our new, beautiful people. I am not a psychic. Some people might think of me as a clairvoyant. Well, you know, the thing is, I just don't fit into a box. Those of you who do know me, you will be able to ascertain or confirm that. By way of, yes, Lisa, bringing out the big guns, my favourite team. There are many aspects to clairvoyancy. There are many aspects to living a soul-led, a spirit-inspired life. There are many aspects to being able to see into different realms, dimensions. And, you know, if you have been caught up by any of the New Age movement, especially the woke, they'll be telling you all about moving into the fifth dimension. Well, don't enough people have enough trouble trying to live in this dimension? Never mind trying to move to somewhere else. So when it comes to what I can bring to you for everyone that is new, all I can say is strap in and get ready for a ride. Would you agree? Lisa, Karen, Jackie, hello. And even Kelly, I'm sure, would agree with that. One thing that is absolutely certain is when you sit with me, and I have the absolute pleasure and honour of bringing through the archangels, thank you, Lisa, and their guidance for you, you will receive healing energy. So when it comes down to any kind of healing that you feel your body needs, open your mind tonight, open your heart, and let that healing energy come through and do its work. This is divine healing energy. A lot of people ask me, do I do Reiki? And I say, I do Reiki on steroids. It is very different. It is not the same as Reiki. Reiki is an awesome modality. There are many wonderful modalities. It is not what I do. So for you this evening, for every one of you, if there is something that you feel you need some help with, and now we have the presence of Archangel Metatron. Now, Metatron has an incredible energy, and I'm going to ask that that be sent through to those of you who are in need of receiving it. And what I mean by that is his message that he is speaking is about moving past your own stubbornness and your resistance to get out of your own way. So it looks like he's coming in with quite a big sword tonight. So for those of you who are standing in your own way, who are being resistant to moving out of old patterns, old things, or even just holding on to yesterday. You know, yesterday is the past. You learn from it, you move on. You don't drag yesterday with you into today, into tomorrow. But yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. That's what's called living here. So for people saying, oh, you got to move up to the 5th dimension, how on earth can you do that when you can't even navigate the 3rd dimension? Give me a break. So we have got the most beautiful archangels, and of course Gabriel is the one who most often speaks through me, though Metatron will be having a say tonight too. Now that's serious big guns, Lisa, and very much around healing and a greater sense of your place in yourself and where you are holding yourself back. So I want to share with you before they get too carried away with their guns, their swords. I was called to a construction site rather urgently last week, and I went on Friday, only day I could go actually. And that is actually what the email said, help needed. And when I read it, the owner of the big construction company said, look, we have been trying to build this apartment building down here in Dalkeith. And for those of you who aren't from Perth or WA, Dalkeith is one of our very wealthy suburbs. It's where you would usually find all the millionaires, and it's all around that kind of area. And I thought, well, this is going to be interesting, see what kind of skeletons they have in their closets down there. And he went on in his email to say that they had had issues right from day one, but now it had become absolutely ridiculous and could not explain it away, meaning that the issues that had from the beginning, they were explaining away. Well, you would, wouldn't you? You know, ladder falls over, roof falls in, things don't happen. You're like, well, somebody didn't do it right. Maybe the wind came through and blew the ladder over. But as the time has gone on, and now they're trying to get up to lock-up stage over the next few weeks, things have become very serious. So off I trotted down there with my team and to have a look. And the first thing I will do is have a look at the surrounding areas. Yes, pretty cool, isn't it, Lisa? Look at the surrounding areas, the homes around it, the parks, everything that's there. And I went, wow, this is going to be fun. And I looked up at the building and thought, how bizarre. Why does that window have curtains in it when this building isn't even finished? And then I saw the young man. And I went, okay, let's meet you. So I found the boss man, and off we trotted. And we went through the place, and he and his supervisor were both quite agitated, to say the least. They'd had enough. So I went through and had a look at everything and saw some movement, but I said to them, why does one of the apartments up there have curtains in it? Oh, that's the display apartment. We've got that on display. And I said, but you're not even ready for people to come through. No, but they wanted to have the display one going. And I said, well, that's good because you've already got a tenant. And they looked at each other and said, no, nobody lives in there. And I said, oh, but they do. And I'll be going up there. And they looked quite befuddled. So off I went out to the back of the building. I needed to be able to see over the back fence and also the side back fence because of the energy that was coming from there. Now, Dalkeith is one of the very early settlement areas of Perth. It also looks across the river to an area where there used to be, back in the 1800s, what they call mental health issues now. So a lot of people were taken over there, so it seems. However, this area where I was, I could see that the ocean used to be up at that level, not obviously where the houses are now. That used to be ocean. And I was able to see ships coming in and offloading people in chains, people in shackles, and other people just walking around, and big bags of food stock and stuff. I'm like, well, this is really interesting. And where those people were taken was to an infirmary for being mentally unbalanced, right? Now, that energy is at the back of this building site. Looking at the houses that are there now, to the left of them, schizophrenia, bipolar, multiple personality disorder. Well, nice mixed bag of goodies. That energy had culminated with that energy that has lived on that area since the late 1800s. And next door to that is where these people were kept back in the 1800s, and that house also has all that energy from then. So already we have this culmination of present day mental imbalances in the emotional and mental body. I am not going to call it mental health issues. It's from a soul spirit perspective, that is the incorrect terminology, but we understand why these particular things are spoken about in this way. And then there was a nice house. Now, this is the other thing that's interesting. Those first two blocks of houses were like a quadruplex, duplex, double duplex, which Dalkeith, I was very surprised. And the one next door looked like it was out of a state housing area. You would not have believed that you were looking at Dalkeith. Well, this is really different. And then the third house had a different energy, and it was, shall we say, a nicer looking house with a nicer garden. However, in that place, back in the day, and even in the 1900s, that used to be where they kept children who were disabled, mentally impaired, were not allowed out in society. And I don't know if you are all familiar with the fact that back in the day, children that didn't fit were not allowed to be seen in society, and they were quite badly treated. So that house, this current day, has a disabled child in it, and they do not like taking their disabled child out for the public to see. So the importance of this is to understand that energy does not go away. Energy imprints on land, yes, Tanya, awful history, do not go away. So when people ring me and say, look, I've got a new house and I don't know what's going on in it, there's something going on and it's a new house. It's nothing to do with the new house. It's everything to do with the land and what energy has been left there and never been cleared. So that's the back part. Then there was the left-hand side, which has got a whole lot of murky, competitive, jealous, unwell energy from the people that work in that building. So, you've got all this mental stuff over there. You've got these guys here. And then on the right-hand side, that land in that block, which was empty, was death land. So there have been deaths on that land long time ago. But the imprint, and it's funny, when I said to him, this block of land here, I hope nobody builds on it. And he said, well, it's really funny you say that. Nobody's wanted to. That's why the business that's on there is way down the front. There you go. So how are we doing? We've got that at the back, that at the side, and that at this side. And then across the road out the front, we have present day houses. But in one of the houses that's there, the people in there have taken an absolute dislike to this new building and to the height of it, the look of it. And they have been sending out masses of energy to stop and to interfere with the building. And when remember, I've not said anything. I've not been given any information. I don't like being given information. When I was saying this to them, the supervisor jumped in and he said, oh my gosh, he said, we've had so much trouble with the people that live in that house. They have been so difficult. I said, well, it's not only the conversation they're having with you, but they are making it difficult energetically. So, yes, Lisa. Imagine the people, well, they're going to be okay now because I've cleared it all. So trying to build that complex, and it is absolutely shut in from every angle with very poor energy. So clear all that to start with. Pick up the spirits that were left from the early days back there. Clear all of that. And I said to the two fellows, the people that live in those places there are going to wonder how come they've had the most amazing night's sleep tonight, because they'll all sleep better than they have for years. So there was that. Now let's go into the building and find out who's creating havoc in there. And I said, I need to go to the apartment first. So we go up to the apartment, and I was telling the fellas about a reading, an experience, something that had, oh yes, on my show on Edge Radio last week. That's right. I was telling them about what happened on the show, which was very funny. Excuse me. And we stepped to the apartment door and they didn't want to come in. And I thought, oh, it's because they've got work boots on. I stepped into the apartment at the same time the spirit of the young man stepped around the corner, as you would if somebody walked into your house. You would walk around and go, who's just come in the door? And I went, oh, whoa, and put my hand up to him. And he was so intense. When I put my hand up to say, you just stop right there, it felt like I'd put my hand on a physical person. That's how much presence he had. And I held my hand on his chest and said, you just wait there. And it was interesting. It was like he couldn't move off my hand. And the two boys were like, oh, stepping out. So I got to speak to this young man, asked him why he was there. And it was really sad. He was a vagrant. He never felt that he ever really had a place he could call home. He never really felt he had somewhere that he could feel was loving and kind. So he'd been a vagrant pretty much since his teenage years, and he was only in his late 20s. And he just died in a park around the area and had wandered the area ever since. And when he came across this building, he used to follow the workers around while they were doing their work. He liked it. And then when they set up the display apartment, he felt he'd found home. He really liked it. He'd lived in parks, under trees, under bridges, from a teenager through to when he died. And he said that he just really liked this apartment, and it felt like it was going to be his home and he was going to stay there. And I said, well, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen, and you can't stay here. We really need to move you on. Lucky he was amicable about that. And I called in the Angels of Mercy to come and collect him, and promised him that where he was going to be home, and that he would be very glad to be there. And it was beautiful to watch him go off. And I'm very glad that he just went along. He was a sweet soul, lovely soul. It was very sad that he was still roaming the earth, feeling that there was no home for him. And when I was explaining it to the fellows and said, I have to move him on because he would become, over time, he would become quite possessive of the unit or the apartment and feel it was his because he was there first. And he could also become very attached to someone that would be living there, and that would not work for anybody. So on he went. Then we go back around and come down through the apartment, and I went to turn right. I went, oh, no, hang on. Come back. Oh, and there's a room full of spirits. Like, well, hello. So let's have some fun, shall we? And they were like, well, we're not going anywhere. And I said, oh, but you are. And we went, they all sort of vamoosed, thinking that they could get away from me. And we went up to another floor level. And even the boss man, who does not see and isn't really on board, and yet he's the one that called me, we went to walk through and he jumped and he said, something just walked past there. I said, not something, several. So we found them again. So that's how I ended my week. And the message in that is for you to understand and to know that energy does not just leave, especially energy, and in particular energy that is heavy, depressive, mental emotional bodies that have been very unwell, that have been perhaps destructive, malevolent. It doesn't just go because the spirit or the soul has gone, and neither do they just go. Not always. So it's very important that you cleanse and clear yourself and your homes. And that includes your boundaries. Now, I just wrote a blog this morning. Well, actually, I don't think I wrote it, but a blog, and it was talking about boundaries and also just some things about the changes in the way of living. But so many people don't have boundaries anymore, because we have technology and everything is 24/7. Everybody thinks that they should be in touch with people at ridiculous hours. And this is not good for the soul. It's not good for energy either. So once upon a time, respect of other people's homes, respect of other people's lives. So you didn't ring up when the phone was something stuck on the wall. You didn't ring up at all hours of the day and night. If you got a phone call in the middle of the night back in the day, you knew it was because there was an emergency. These days, it's because someone's had 17 cougars too many and they just want to tell you how much they love you. or they remembered something that they wanted to tell you and they'd forgotten. So the difference now between respect is now called boundaries. It's respect. So having respect for your own life, your own well-being, and then respect to others is where we need to come back to, and to be using and working with boundaries all the time. Lisa's just asking, yeah, Tanya, it was really lovely. And he was a sweetheart. He was a lovely soul. It was very sad that he felt he'd never had a place that he could call home. When I'm talking about the boundaries of your home, this is different to the boundaries of your life. But cleansing the boundaries around your home means that you make sure the energy that you use, you project, and your intention of clearing, cleansing your land in your mind's eye, you would take a big sweeping brush out to the boundaries of your property. Now I go a little bit further than that and kind of push everybody else away and out the front. So you make sure that when you are clearing and cleansing your property, you clear the whole place, because other people's energy can spill straight through into your place. And this is another reason, why understanding how important it is to know how to clear, cleanse, and ground your energy, because they are now building houses without any gaps between them. So everybody is on top of everybody, wall to wall. There is no space. So everybody's energy is convoluted and it's all muddied in together. It's the worst thing for mental, emotional bodies, unless, of course, you are actively cleansing and clearing and setting intentions every day. So you clear and cleanse your property right out to your fence lines, right out to the front. So for me, I face onto a busy road. I take my energy field right out to the road, and then I also make sure that what I push further across the road keeps everything that's being ridiculous away from my property, including the beautiful big old, very old female paperbark tree. I protect her as well with my energy. So this is really important. Yeah, Tanya, I don't get it. I know that the English and a lot of Europe is built very closely together, but we've got so much land here, there's no excuse for it other than money. So what, the tree, Tanya? I love the tree, and whenever the council come, I go out and say, you're not going to touch her, are you? And little do they realise, Gary often says, oh, they really need to move away if they think they're going to be doing anything with that tree. So, yeah, she's a big, old, very old paperbark, and she's just beautiful. I'm always over there talking to her and energetically. So that's those boundaries, and that is understanding energy. Now, this is part and parcel of Metatron's presence here this evening, and he is saying that he has other messages that he wishes to bring through for you. Thank you. You're graciously allowing me to finish what I wanted to talk to you about myself, because personal boundaries. As I said back in the day, and if you'd like to read my blog that's up on the website, you go right ahead. Back in the day, it was respect. And of course, respect has changed over the years. Loss of personal space, loss of personal place. A lot of people don't even know how to claim their own place and feel their place in life. So again, I have to say, when some fool says to you, you need to be going up to the fifth dimension, you need to tell them you can't even drive this one. You don't even know where you belong in this one, never mind the next 2 rungs up. So when it comes to respect, boundaries, really think about the way that life is, where there's no longer a rest day. You know, meetings held on a Sunday or a Saturday night. Now, Sunday was always the rest day. Nothing, when I was a kid, nothing was open except delis on a Sunday. All shops were closed and we never went without. And yet the shops are open 24/7 now and people still can't get their shopping done. And we're supposed to have advanced. I'm not sure about that. So boundaries are important to your health and well-being. And thank you. That's Archangel Raphael. So it's Joy here. Archangel Raphael. Oh, Linda Gold, good evening. Jenny Arnold. Joy, if you're still here, Archangel Raphael is here to address both the energy center of your gallbladder, which ties up with the liver, and the excess bile that your gallbladder has always made. Now, small stones, refined stones. This is affecting your ability to digest with ease. But the swelling in that area where the gallbladder belongs, and also the lobe of the liver that is closest to the gallbladder, there is swelling in there as well. And Joy, the thing that comes through about the gallbladder is bitterness. And it's also a place of harboring resentment, and the liver alongside that is with anger. You are very much like the duck on the lake. What people see on the surface is quite different to what's going on underneath, and that's what's happening with this gallbladder area with you. And the bile that your body is secreting and bringing out is creating issues also in your small intestine. Please receive the healing energy of Archangel Raphael, Joy, to help you with this overactive production of bile. There's also some reflux being shown here. Now, there's a gentleman that's just appeared in spirit next to you. He says word Father, and he's talking about having a lot of reflux for himself, and he was quite a easily irritated man and would be very unsettled in his body, a lot of movement with his body. And he has come in to say to you that you need to be a lot more patient with yourself and give yourself more time to heal, give yourself more time. And he does say the word time to heal, and meaning that you give very little time and attention to the things that you need, and you know you need them. So please do give yourself time to heal and also receive that healing energy from Archangel Raphael. Archangel Metatron wishes to address Ashley. Archangel Metatron speaks to you and is saying that there are residual ties within you, ties to the past, ties that things that you haven't finished with. It is like you send a fishing rod out into the water, you bring the fish in and you don't really want it and you just drop it back over the side, but you've not cut it off, you've not let it go. There are strings of energy hanging off you, Ashley, and they need to be severed, finished with. These are things that have dogged you for the most part of your life, and it is time for them to be cleared up and beautifully polished off, just released and let go, so that all of this residual energy that hangs in your energy, it is time for it to go. And the reason Archangel Metatron says that he has come to speak to you is because there is also a need for you to feel your way more into the masculine part of yourself, as Archangel I was once a human being, and understand what it is to be a human being. And then for you, young man, it is important for you to be able to feel into your masculinity in this human form and stand in that masculinity, feeling the strength. You have a fear of feeling your own strength as a man. But trust me, Ashley, as having lived as a man, I know the feeling of that. And it is a very strong power, a very intense power, but it is one that you are ready to handle. And it is one that is going to actually bring you to a place of feeling much more balance within yourself. And this is what will free your sense of lack, your sense of not enough in abundance, struggle with abundance. When you come into your masculinity and let yourself really immerse into that masculine power, and it's not a masculine power of that, it is a masculine power that is belonging to the soul as it wished to be experienced and expressed in this life. Archangel Raphael also wishes to speak on healing with a few of you ladies. Now, rather than list you, the common issue is ovaries and fallopian tubes. There are 3 of you here this evening, and you all share a common problem with your fallopian tubes and ovaries. There is inflammation for each of you. You want names, so it is Lisa, Kelly, Tanya, and also Jackie, your daughter, Stephanie. So each of you have inflamed fallopian tubes and ovaries at different stages. Whilst you each have inflammation, it is not the same. It's not the same reason for each of you. However, Archangel Raphael presents tonight to bring you the healing energy. And if you will receive that and place it into the basin of the body and let it immerse, it will come through as the most beautiful emerald green. There is also some violet light. Kelly, the violet light is specific to you because of some work that you have been doing, and the violet light comes through for you to meld with the emerald green. Accept this healing light and let it imbibe into that beautiful area, the basin in which the fallopian tube and ovaries are held. Oh, it's a pleasure, Joy. And I can't take all the credit just being the channel, but thank you. Thank you for your acknowledgement to the Archangel also. Awesome stuff. Now, when it comes to receiving angelic energy, especially the archangel energy, you know, it is the purest and so powerful, such amazingly powerful energy. You are naughty. I am. You're welcome, Kelly and Ash. I can feel you, and I knew that you were around earlier. So we have Queen Anastasia, who's come in for a little bit of entertainment. Pleasure, Jackie. Pleasure. Stop it. Archangel energy is yours to embrace. And especially when they come into something like this and they just want to offer it to you everywhere, remembering that whilst they may speak through me, they're omnipresent, they're right beside you, they're with you all the way. So if you want to take in their energy, you have only but to say, thank you for the love, or amen, or or oh. Give thanks. Thank you, Tanya. So my little friend here, well, she's not so little, is very excited because she wants to, oh, that's beautiful, Tanya. Me too, but thank you. That's really lovely. Archangel, she's not an archangel, you're fairy. Queen Anastasia. She is a hoot, that's for sure. She is very excited because there has been a shift in the elemental kingdom that means that nature is beginning to be able to, and she says it's because of the humans that have become more conscious and been doing more work in the earth and bringing the greater love back into Mother Earth herself. And the elemental kingdom are celebrating that there is a turnaround for the nature of the earth. So for every one of you who have been working with nature and going out, walking among it and setting intentions and bringing the growth and the expressiveness of yourself, she says, thank you. Thank you. You make me do a little dance, she says. So something else to share with you is, excuse me, that a lady that sought help for a health issue last week, and then she actually had the presence of Archangel H.E.A.L come through, and H.E.A.L was making these really strange patterns. This was a distance session. The lady's not here in Perth, and H.E.A.L was making these really odd patterns, and she asked the lady to stop doing them. And then Anastasia stepped in and asked that she go back to the elemental kingdom from which she comes from and go back to drawing the elemental symbols and everything that's representative in nature. And the thing is, everything in you is in nature. The way that your cells are created, the way that your veins run, the way your capillaries are, the way your blood forms, it's all in nature. You can see the patterns in nature. If you look at a leaf, it has veins through it. It has an artery. If you look at different foods, they're the same shape, the color, everything of the human organs. We are one with nature. So when we're destroying nature, we're destroying ourselves. And the beautiful patterns that were being shown, and this lady being asked to draw those and Scribbles. Archangel Shamil was saying, stop the scribbles. Now, the interesting thing, Shamil, is CHAMEUL. Great, Tanya, great. So the reason that this is important with you tonight is that this lady had been downloading codes, but she didn't know where from, light codes. And she had drawn, she would sit up at all hours of the night and have these things coming through, do amazing things. And some of them certainly looked beautiful because of the way that she'd done them. But this did not belong to her soul group. She is an elemental being, this woman, in human form. And she was bringing through, unbeknownst to her, she was bringing through, welcome Lisa, these downloading of light codes from something else that doesn't belong here either. So it was interesting to have Archangel Shamil come in and ask her to stop with those scribbling and go back to her own kind. And she's been sending me the pictures of what has been coming through. The patterns are just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, light codes, Lisa. So special codes, have yourself activated, get your DNA activated and shift you to a different time zone, shift you to a different dimension through these special activations. Call them light codes, the same as light language. Now, if that is where you hail from, if that's what, you know, aligns with your soul, then you go right ahead with that. But it does not mean it's for everybody. And this was the amazing message that came through with this lady. And now what she's been drawing now is incredibly healing for Mother Earth. So in whatever way you can contribute, start to make a difference and start looking at nature and seeing how you are part of that, how it is actually seen in the formation of the human body. So absolutely beautiful, beautiful stuff. So there we have it. That's us for this evening. All my beautiful friends have left me, or gone off, probably gone skipping around to your houses. Does anyone have a question? I can call upon your guides. I can call upon Archangel Gabriel. If anyone has a specific question, you need to be specific. So, seeing nothing else. What am I, new lady? Tell me about it, Lisa. Jenny Arnold, are you still here? Jean, so nice to see you here. Yeah. So Jenny Arnold, if you could let me know if you're still here. Ah, very lovely. Thank you, Jenny. Archangel Gabriel, to speak to you. Jenny, when you suppress tears, this creates tremendous blocks in all of the energy centers and all of the ability, therefore, of the soul to be able to expand itself. It's like not being able to breathe. So many times you take on other people's tears and you will feel for other people all of the energy that they're experiencing, and you will take that to yourself, almost like you are relieving them of some burden that you feel they can't carry. We ask you to let their burden go, and also to allow yourself to release your tears. The tears you cry for others, the tears that you cry when you feel that there is nothing left, or that you can't make a difference, that you can't help them. Suppressing these tears, and also those that belong to others, is not helping your systems, your physical systems, and is affecting your emotional body, so your emotional field around you. To release those tears means freedom for your soul to breathe. So in a quiet space, maybe even outside when it's nice, let yourself release those tears. Early on in your life, where there was much you wanted to be able to help your mother with, and you couldn't because you were a child, but you took on a lot of her tears. So it's time for those tears to be released, and for you to be able to feel that you can be without that burden of anyone's and your own. Yeah. They're stuck because that's the whole message, Jenny, is that you hang on to them. You don't want to express them. It's not a weakness. And it also feels to you that if they start, they won't stop. There's a flood there. So it's like a dam. Take your finger out of the hole in the dam and just let it go. Watch, listen to a sad story and let yourself express them. They're only stuck because you hold them there. You can call archangels in, Karen. It's not so much which one is most with you. Archangels respond more to being called upon than actually go to any one person often. Yes, Tanya, you do need to work on your boundaries with clients. You're welcome, Jenny. Archangel Gabriel. So thank you all very much for being here this evening. Thank you for your interaction and engagement. It's a pleasure. It's always lovely to sit with you and to have the presence of these beautiful divine beings this evening. I wish you all a beautiful evening and really appreciate you. So take good care, and I will see you next week. Good night now.